When it comes to killing Overwatch, Marvel might be the exception. Marvel might be the game, but there's certain conditions that must be met for that to be possible, okay? There's certain problems that Overwatch had, and that what made people like me hate Overwatch at the end of its life cycle, and it's still going strong still, but the problem is that Overwatch has lost a big chunk of players, especially the DPS players, which is the most players in Overwatch, okay? When you stand in a queue and you're waiting for your game, the longest queue is the DPS players, so they are the majority, and these people, and I think they are like me, because I hated the game for so long because of certain problems. And these problems are almost unfixable. And I'm gonna discuss these problems right now, but first of all I need to address one thing, and that thing is that Marvel cannot kill Overwatch. It's an Overwatch knockoff, it's not the original thing. First of all, Overwatch is not the real Overwatch. Overwatch was a TF2 knockoff. And there is Paladins, and there is other games, okay? Every game is copying the game before it, okay? Overwatch might be the biggest name, might be the best last thing we had, okay? Concord is just straight up trash, but Concord doesn't count, okay? And when it comes to the hero shooters, Concord is nothing. It didn't even exist for a second in the lifetime, in the span of the year, okay? Marvel, on the other hand, has a good chance of killing Overwatch. Not because it's just a copy, but it adds something. It adds a new depth to the game, a new characters, a new mechanic. All these things make a good game, make great game actually. One of my greatest criticism of Overwatch is the fact that Overwatch just feels like it betrayed the DPS player base. When it comes to playing DPS, first of all, you stand in a very long queue, and even if you decide to go on the free queue in the game, okay, the free-for-all mode, you're met with tanks, you're met with healers. All of them do more effective things in terms of because it's a team-based game. It's surprising, really, to see that DPS is the least effective damage dealing character in the game, okay? The tank is out damaging it, the healing is doing nothing. Literally you're doing nothing against a healer. It's getting healed more than you can deal damage. Feels like you're shooting a fart in the wind, okay? Unless you're playing a tank or playing a healer, you're not having a good time. And the skill ceiling, if you're playing with Reaper or Genji, the skill ceiling is bananas. You have to be very skilled to get the kill with Genji, but almost dead, brain dead if you're gonna get it with Reaper. That is what makes this game feels like it's not fair. A character like Genji, if you're skilled enough to pull it off, you should be dealing more damage than Reaper. But for some reason, Reaper is chopping at those tanks, and Genji feels like a piece of shit. That is one of the things that I don't like in Overwatch. I like to play hard characters. I like to play Widow. I like to play Genji. I like to play challenging characters. I can pull off Reaper or Junkrat and just shoot around and hope for the best, you know. But that is not my playstyle. I like to aim. I like to move around and outmaneuver and out-aim my enemies. That I cannot do in Overwatch. Overwatch doesn't allow me to, because it's a team-based game and it's very heavy on that subject. It's very heavy on having a good team. If you're not having a good team, you're losing, okay? No matter how good you are, it's not Valorant. If you're good enough, you can carry your team. You cannot carry your team in Overwatch. And I think if Marvel fixes this exact problem, we're gonna have a great game. We're gonna have a wonderful game. If you can do enough damage to kill characters, even if your team is ass, that is what's gonna make Marvel different, and it's gonna make the player feels more authority on its action and its situation. A lot of goobers around say that we need more healers and tanks, because the DPS is like 18 character and there is like 7 tanks and 6 healers, and that's not fair or some bullshit like that. To be honest, no one cares, okay? First of all, everyone knows that the majority of players are DPS, and when it comes to free queue with no role queue, everyone plays DPS for a reason, because they are fun, and that's what the developers should follow. They should follow what makes the game fun and make more of it, okay? If players want to play DPS, the devs should encourage that, they should enable that, they should buff these characters, make them strong enough to have an impact, to be fun to play as, not the other way around. They shouldn't be pushing them to play something they don't want to. That's a straight up fact. Most people don't like to play healers. Most people don't like to take damage as a tank and be a sponge damage. No one likes that. There is a lot of people who likes that, that's for sure, but not everyone. And yeah, I think that's what's gonna make the game really good. There is also one mistake that Overwatch did, which is adding way too many characters. There's a certain point when you add too many characters, the game gets very complex to a point where it makes the player feels no control whatsoever, and in that point of time the game fails. The game just crashes on its weight, and I think a lot of games have a lot of Overwatch problems are spinning from this fact, because every time you're making a brand new character, you need to just do something new, you do something crazy, do something interesting to make the players come back. And when you have this expectation that every season you're gonna have a brand new cool character, you're gonna have this responsibility of making new cool abilities. And every time you make a crazy ass character with crazy new abilities, you break the rules of your game. And this trap is what killed Overwatch. It's what gonna kill maybe Valorant in the future, because I see this very clearly when it comes to characters like whatever, what's Astra. Yes, Astra, I fucking hate that character. It's just, if you're below Bloat and you know how to play Astra, you almost can win any game you want. Okay, that's how effective she is, because she breaks almost every rule in the game. Or to be more exact, she has every tool in the game. She's just she has so much control on the map. It's crazy. So what's gonna make the players come back if it's not the characters? I don't know. Maybe it's the maps, maybe it's the environment, maybe, I don't know, man. Just make something up. Don't just add characters. Add environment, add obstacles, add, I don't know. Just people, if they like your game, they're gonna play it for years. That's what's happened to CSGO. That's what happened to a lot of games, okay? I, for example, don't play Valorant because they added a new character. I think the last 5 or maybe 4 characters they added, agents, whatever their name, I never played them, okay? I only play like Champer, Isu, Reyna, sometimes Jet, and that's about it, okay? I don't play all the other characters. I don't like them all. I don't care. And the last thing you might want to think about is making cinematics about your game. Even though we all liked Overwatch cinematics, they didn't make the game great. They just made the game more great. The game was already good, it made it better, okay? The cinematics is not gonna make a game like Concord amazing. It's gonna make a good game better, but it's not gonna add any substance to your game if it's trash. So maybe focus on that. If your game is nice and good, maybe make some cinematics. Just don't focus on it that much. The most important thing now is the game to be available to everyone, to have a steady FPS, to have high FPS as possible, because the game keeps crashing on everyone, and honestly it's bullshit that I'm getting 60 FPS on my 2060 super card. Like, goddamn, it's the only game that I'm having this problem on, and it's this one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, Did you enjoy this video? Well, I enjoyed making it. So how about we make a deal? You subscribe and like, and I make more videos. Win-win. What do you think? Deal? Well, see you later. Bye.